Welcome to the channel, everybody. Before I get started on the beefy 5-layer burrito that is this video, I want to talk a little bit about what's actually going on your screen right now. I was on YouTube about a month and a half, 2 months ago now, just looking for some hardcore Minecraft videos to watch. And I found a video from a YouTuber whose name I forgot. And he built the Pyramids of Giza to scale in hardcore Minecraft. And he titled the video something like "The Biggest Pyramid in Hardcore Minecraft." I'm not one to back down from a challenge, so I decided, no, I'm going to make the biggest pyramid in hardcore Minecraft. And I wanted to do it to sky limit, and I wanted to make it out of emerald blocks because I like the color green. And then, to my dismay, a YouTuber named Wunba, who's actually a pretty big YouTuber, made a video saying that he built the biggest beacon in Minecraft, but it was hollow. That's a pyramid, my boy. A beacon isn't hollow. And so he currently has the title for the biggest pyramid in Minecraft. But I could put his pyramid inside my pyramid and have enough room for that pyramid at Giza. And I watched this other YouTuber. His name is Andre. He built the actual biggest beacon in Minecraft, totaling over 1 million blocks, and it's completely filled. That's, to my knowledge, the biggest beacon in Minecraft. However, I could put his biggest beacon in Minecraft inside my pyramid, and I might do that with the Pyramid at Giza just to really, really shit on him because I'm coming for next right now. But you guys can enjoy that footage. That's just me sped up on 700% speed, just building it. And now I'm going to actually go into the actual topic of this video, which is the untapped potential of Itachi Uchiha. Itachi in the Naruto verse is a freak of fucking nature. He's an absolute beast. From the time he's like 4 years old, he has this like Rinnegan-esque ability to just like watch you perform a jutsu, and then he just knows how to do it instantly. It's insane. And then on top of that, he's also like no slouch in terms of how hard he studies, how hard he works to improve. Like, this man is outworking he's working like Rock Lee, but he's got all the talent of Minato. It's insane. But during his time as a kid, I would have him study genjutsu. So I don't know if it's just not necessarily well known or if it's just ignored in the community so we can make fun of Kurenai. But Itachi wasn't really known for his genjutsu prowess during his time in the Leaf. He was known for his ninjutsu and his taijutsu, but he wasn't known for his genjutsu being at such a level. So when Kurenai tries to like put him under genjutsu, and then we get that amazing meme where, she's like stuck to a tree and he's like, genjutsu of that level doesn't work on me. When we get that, it's because Kurenai actually doesn't know that he's like a genjutsu god, and from that point they start to actually fear his genjutsu. In this scenario, we're going to take Itachi as a kid. We know that he has like Sakura Tsunade level chakra control, and if he's so pleased, like, I have no qualms with anybody saying that Itachi could awaken a Byakugo seal if he really wanted to. His chakra control is like on that level, whereas it's insane. When he's 5 years old, and the Nine Tails attacked Konoha, there is a huge piece of debris like hurtling towards Mikoto and Sasuke. Mikoto is a high level Jonin. She has awakened her Sharingan. It's 3 Tomoe, everything. She's a beast, right? She's sitting there holding Sasuke, wondering what to do in this situation. Itachi springs forward, funnels chakra into his fist, and breaks apart the boulder at 5 years old. This is before or right around the time that he would have been entering the academy. So he's young as hell. He gets through the academy in only a couple months because he started sending shadow clones to train with Shisui. So what I'd have him do during this time is instead of training, like his Shuriken Jutsu or his Fire Style Jutsu with Shisui, have him learn Genjutsu and have him like train Genjutsu. Excuse me. Now, it doesn't, obviously, Shisui's not going to teach him Kodo, Matsukami, or anything like that, but maybe Itachi, a little bit earlier in the series, learns the Demon Shackle Stakes, or maybe he learns how to, like, shoot Genjutsu into people's eyes using his crows, like we see him do later on, or he learns Ephemeral, or something to that extent, and probably even more Genjutsu. There's so many out there. You probably learn the Feather Dance Genjutsu that Kabuto put on everybody at the Chunin exams and all sorts of other crazy stuff. But for now, we'll stick with him just learning earlier on the Genjutsu that he knows and the Genjutsu that Shisui knows. We know that Shisui is touted at this point in time as being the strongest Uchiha clan member. Later on, we know that he's considered the best Genjutsu user in the Leaf, or in the Uchiha clan, and by extension in the Leaf. Which is no joke, because you've also got a guy in Fugaku who is an absolute beast. I think it's kind of underrated how strong Fugaku is. Fugaku, during the Third Great War, earned the nickname Wicked Eyes Fugaku. I mean, if you get a nickname like Wicked Eyes Fugaku, you obviously did some wicked shit with your eyes, and that probably means torturing people with Genjutsu. We also know that he has his MS and that he could probably control the Nine Tails with it. It's never confirmed or whatever, but everyone in the Leaf that knows about him having an MS believes he can do it. And even if they don't, they still believe that he can do it with just his base Sharingan like Obito did. So is it out of the realm of possibility? No, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility for Fugaku to teach Itachi some crazy Genjutsu, which, of course, would mean that people in the Leaf would know, like, don't get in a Genjutsu battle with this guy. He will fuck you up. That's really the biggest thing I want him to start learning as a kid, is learning Genjutsu. We know he has the chakra control necessary to be a master of it, as displayed by the fact that he becomes a master of it, but also earlier on in his life, he's still like a beast with chakra control. Like I said, it's like Sakura Tsunade level chakra control at like 5. He can definitely be a Genjutsu monster way earlier on. Now, in between the time that he becomes in between the time he goes into the Anbu, I should say, a few things happen to him. The biggest one is his team was so good at their missions and so efficient and effective at their missions that they are sent to escort a caravan holding the Fire's daimyo, or their feudal lord, across the land of fire. It's during this mission that Obito, or as he was known then, the Masked Man, or Madara, attacks the caravan, puts everybody under Genjutsu. Itachi's teammate Tenma and himself managed to break out of this Genjutsu, with Itachi not even being affected by it. This is pre-Sharingan Itachi, just casually not even being affected by Obito's multi-person Genjutsu. We know Obito has some crazy Genjutsu feats too. So Itachi and Tenma are analyzing the situation. Tenma rushes in, gets killed. That causes Itachi to awaken the Sharingan. And also, Obito just kind of like leaves after that, at least in the anime. So Obito kills his teammate, he awakens the Sharingan. Later in that same year of him getting the Sharingan, he actually masters it. He's 8 years old with a mastered Sharingan. And he was also, during this time, allowed to take the Chunin exams solo and super early. So he was 9 years old when he took the Chunin exams. He passed it in record time, beating Minato's team's record by himself. He also had the second highest written exam scores in the history of the Chunin exams, behind only Minato. If Minato is your competition, you're doing pretty well for yourself. And I would argue that he even outperformed Minato when it came to the Chunin exams. Obviously, passing it by himself, you could make the debate maybe that Minato's team was holding him back a little bit. We know that Kid Minato is a freak of nature, and I plan on making one of these types of videos for Minato as well. Just because if you talk about Minato, you kind of have to talk about Itachi. They're compared to each other a lot. So during this time, he becomes a Chunin. He runs missions, and then after about a year, he joins the Anbu. And it's during this time, in the anime at the very least, he's put under Kakashi's guidance in Team Ro. And it's also during this time that we're going to have Itachi master another nature transformation. We know that it's really difficult to master too, but we also know that all high-level Jonin have 2 masteries. We know Kakashi also has all 5 by copying jutsu with his Sharingan. And there's no reason for that Itachi couldn't do the same here, but instead we're going to have him do something a little different. You may think that because Sasuke uses lightning and fire that we'll just have Itachi do that, but I'm going to do something slightly different with Itachi. Itachi is a real student and he loves to learn. So let's say that at some point during his time, he comes across some old scrolls that talk about Madara Uchiha, the actual Madara Uchiha. We know as viewers that Madara's natural affinity was actually wind, and it wasn't fire. But he would use his wind to increase the destructive capabilities of his fire style jutsu. So we'll say for this that Itachi does the same. He masters the wind element and uses it to amplify his fire style jutsu. So at this point in time, he's an Anbu. He's got very, very high level, practically unparalleled in the Leaf Genjutsu. He's got a master Sharingan. Now he's a master of fire style and wind style jutsu. And we know that he also studied Sage Mode, but I'll get to that in a second. Now we move into the massacre time frame here. So we know a few days before the massacre, Shisui approached Danzo and the Elder Council of Konoha and was like, I can put Fugaku and all of the Uchiha clan heads under Kodo Matsukami to make them not want to attack the Leaf. Danzo then steals Shisui's eye after a member of the Aburame clan poisons them, and I forget his name. It wasn't Torine, I don't think. That's somebody else. I forget who it was. So you have to excuse me. I am going a little bit off dome. I have bullet points, but most of this is just off the top of my head. So an Aburame clan member poisoned Shisui, which allowed Danzo to be able to take his eye. Shisui meets up with Itachi, gives Itachi his other eye, and commits suicide in front of Itachi. This causes Itachi to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. During this time, he is getting 3 of the biggest amps possible for an Uchiha. The first one is him awakening his Mangekyo Sharingan in this moment. This automatically grants him access to Tsukiyomi and Amaterasu. We know that he has both of these based on the novels. In the anime, it's slightly different, where he doesn't learn about Amaterasu until he's in the Akatsuki with, what's his name? Juzo, which is his anime-only first partner before Kisame. But in this, we know from the novels that he actually knows about Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi. He puts Izumi under Tsukiyomi, and he uses Amaterasu to burn the person that poisoned Shisui to ash. But he does it like slowly, like he tortures them with the flames by casting it and then dispelling it repeatedly. And so he would have access to both of those. The Uchiha clan massacre still goes as it happened in the series. The Uchiha still get blamed for what happened when the Nine Tails attacked. Itachi is tasked with killing everyone in the Uchiha clan. It's debatable at this point if he would have even needed help doing it from Obito, but we'll still say he had help from Obito, or at that time, as he knew on Madara. So it differs in the anime compared to the novels. In the novels, Itachi kills all the men and Izumi and his mom. Obito kills all the women and children with the exception of Izumi and Mikoto. So, and then obviously in the anime it's vice versa, where Obito kills all the men, Itachi kills all the women and children. It doesn't really matter which one he kills. He's killing a bunch of people for no reason. So he shortly thereafter comes across his parents in their house. They're willing to die for him. Fugaku would mention something about transplanting his eyeballs into Itachi's sockets to grant him the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. We haven't seen a son use his father's eyes to get the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but if you look at the science of it, it makes more sense for a father's eyes to work than a brother's. So no matter what, you're always going to share 50% of your DNA with your biological father. Always. That's just how it works. Whereas with your biological brother, you can share anywhere from 0 to 100%. So it's possible that this would awaken an even stronger EMS than what Madara had access to. Madara, of course, being the only person that at that point in time to have an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So it probably would awaken a stronger one, but for the purposes of this video, we'll keep it consistent and keep it kind of level. Although we do want Itachi to become as strong as possible, we'll get there. So now Itachi is 14 years old, and he has the 3 biggest amps an Uchiha member can get. He's got the MS, he's got the Hatred amp, which we know amps Uchiha to an insane degree. It's part of the reason Madara became so powerful was his hatred towards the Senju for killing his brothers. And that's why it takes so long for anyone to surpass him. And it's insane how strong he gets just from hating the Senju. So now he's got a hatred amp and he's got the EMS, which took Sasuke from below Sage Naruto to kind of fighting evenly with KCM 1.5 Naruto. That's a huge difference. The difference between, say, the Sage Mode Naruto that got smacked up by pain and the KCM Naruto fighting in the war, the KCM 1.5 is huge. It's a massive amplifier. So we know that the EMS gives you that crazy amp on top of the fact that it strengthens your Mangekyo Sharingan jutsu, and now they cost less chakra. And none of that is even mentioning the fact that now he will be able to eventually get a perfect Susanoo. How long it takes depends on your own personal ideals. So he'll join the Akatsuki after this, work closely with Obito as a double agent for the Leaf. During this time, I feel like Obito would find out that Itachi has the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and because he has access to all of the Uchiha's forbidden jutsu, I don't think it's necessarily out of the realm of possibility for Obito to teach him about the Susanoo. And when that happens, Itachi, I think within 2 years, which is being generous, we know how much of an actual prodigy Itachi is. I think within 2 years he would have a perfect Susanoo. And I think his perfect Susanoo would be the strongest in the series outside of the DMS Kakashi Susanoo, which wasn't necessarily that powerful, but it was super haxed. I think this Susanoo definitely beats any other Susanoo, because you're talking about a perfect Susanoo. You're basically talking about Sasuke's perfect Susanoo with the Totsuka Blade and the Yatamir. The Totsuka Blade and the Yatamir are a little ambiguous as to what they're capable of, but we know for sure that, well, they're ambiguous because Black Setsu states that the Totsuka Blade will seal anything it pierces, which means if you stab Kaguya with it, Kaguya is getting sealed. If you stab full power Prime Ishiki, he's getting sealed. Momoshiki fused with Kinshiki and all that, he's getting sealed. I don't necessarily think that it truly works like that. I would say it's probably more you can seal somebody stronger than you, but not way, way, way above you. As we see with Edo Itachi sealing Edo Nagato. Edo Nagato is considered Kabuto's second strongest reanimation behind only Edo Madara, who he basically juiced and roided up. and he still manages to seal Edo Nagato. Granted, Nagato wasn't necessarily putting up a fight. He was also able to seal Orochimaru in his 8-headed Hydra state, which was shaking his Susanoo, and it's really powerful transformation. It's like Bijou level almost. So we know that it can seal very strong opponents, and it probably can seal people stronger than you. It just can't be way above your head, like way above your pay grade to seal them. So now we have 14 or 16-year-old Itachi with perfect Susanoo, Amaterasu, and Tsukiyomi amped by the fact that he has an EMS, so now it's way less chakra drain. We know that when he just had his regular MS, he could only use his MS abilities 2 to 3 times per day before he has to take a power nap before he can use his Sharingan again, as shown when he fights Kakashi and then later tracks Naruto to that like Motel 6 he's staying at, where Jiraiya just leaves him in the room to go clubbing. He uses his MS ability twice. He uses Tsukiyomi, and then he uses Amaterasu, and then he's done. He's like, all right, I'm out of it. I can't do this no more. We also remove the near blindness that Itachi was going through. Itachi, even when sick and near blind, is like almost 100% of the time scaled as top 3 in the Akatsuki. There's really no logical argument for him not to be. Kakuzu is not beating Itachi. Kisame is not beating Itachi. Itachi just shit on Deidara, so he's clearly top 3 in the Akatsuki, and that's sick and near blindness. So we have 16-year-old Itachi with the EMS, perfect Susanoo, Totsuka Blade Yatamura, Amaterasu, and Tsukiyomi. It's never really stated when Itachi actually gets sick. If I had to guess, though, it would have been around this time. And we can go through 2 ways where we actually can remove his illness. The first one being obviously Tsunade, who's the greatest medical nin of all time, before adult Sakura shows up and surpasses her. And I think the way that they would meet would be Itachi knows of the legendary Sanin, the healer from that group, could heal any injuries. We know also that Tsunade is really about that action when it comes to healing. She was able to get Lee into fighting shape. She was able to heal the psychological effects of the Tsukiyomi on Sasuke, and she's done a bunch of other crazy shit. I was actually surprised that she wasn't able to fix my guy's leg at the end of the war. But, my guy probably should have died at the end of the war, but, we'll keep that between us. So we know Tsunade is no joke when it comes to healing people. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility unless this is the chakra illness that the Sage of Six Paths suffered. Which I don't think so. It's not like Itachi has chakra on the level of like Hokage Naruto or the Sage of Six Paths, who are the only 2 people confirmed to go through this illness. The more likely odds is it's something like tuberculosis or maybe some sort of cancer or something, which we know that Tsunade can heal down to a cellular level. So she'd probably be able to cure cancer. Let's be real. If, for whatever reason, Tsunade doesn't work, there is always the King of Hell path. I think it's the King of Hell from the Naraka path, I believe, from Pain, that could heal him as well. All he'd have to do is hop in his mouth and it would spit him out brand fucking new. Regardless, though, we're going to say that Itachi doesn't get an illness either during this time, and so he is just on another planet in terms of strength. So this is Akatsuki Itachi. This is shortly before the actual events of Naruto. We know that Itachi has studied Senjutsu, and we know that he should be capable of learning it, at least to an imperfect extent. Now, who would he learn it from? The obvious choice generally would be the snakes at Ryuchi Cave, although I could also see him going to Mount Miyaboku. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to send him to Ryuchi Cave, just because I think that Dragon Sage mode is stronger than Toad Sage mode, based off of what Kabuto was able to accomplish with it, compared to what Naruto accomplished with it. So we'll have him go train Sage mode with the snakes at Ryuchi Cave. Now, obviously, Orochimaru failed at getting this, but that was because Jesus fucking Christ. Orochimaru wasn't in his actual body. He was in somebody else's body at this point, and he almost got killed by the Great Snake Sage, but he managed to escape. Kabuto then goes later on and actually masters it, using Orochimaru cells and having access to all the other DNA from the Sound 4 and everything. I don't see any reason why Itachi wouldn't be able to learn Sage Mode at this point in time. He would have access to his full chakra capacity. He wouldn't be sick, so he'd have a strong body and strong chakra. We know he's studied Sage Mode in the past, so we know that he knows what it takes mentally, although we don't know really what it takes. But he wouldn't know what it would take physically, but he does know the mental side of it and what he needs to do. So, for the purposes of this video, Itachi would be about 17, 18, depending on how long you think it would take him to master Sage Mode. I can't see it taking a year if Naruto was able to learn it in 3 days. Granted, Naruto had plot armor, so we'll give Itachi 2 weeks to learn it. So we'll say Itachi's 17, 18. Now he has EMS, Sage Mode. He's got a perfect Susanoo, Yadamir Totsuka Blade, Tsukiyomi, Amaterasu. He's now known for his Genjutsu, so it's not like he's just using Tsukiyomi. He has the Demon Shackle Stakes. He's got the Feather Dance Genjutsu. He's got all of his crazy Crow Genjutsu, Ephemeral. He is a whole different beast right now. And now we get to the point where Itachi has resigned himself to die by Sasuke's hand. I'm still having Itachi die at 21. Was he when he died? 21, I believe, when he dies. I'm still going to have him die at 21. Or 21 to 24, somewhere in that range. I forget sometimes. I'm still going to have him die by Sasuke's hand. They're still going to have their final clash at the Uchiha hideout. And during this fight, he would show Sasuke everything that he has, just to see how strong are you, Sasuke? Show me that you're worth giving this power to. Which I think Sasuke would prove to him. I think Sasuke still proves that he is right there with him. We know that Sasuke was actually able to catch Itachi a couple times during their actual fight, with the Rick Shuriken, and even by breaking out of Tsukiyomi was kind of an impressive feat, even if it wasn't as strong as Itachi could have made it, and definitely nowhere close to as strong as he could make it now in this scenario. Sasuke still breaking out of that is a really impressive feat, considering he's using a base Sharingan with no MS, and he's not even using his curse mark in that situation. It's still an impressive feat. Itachi would still resign himself to die by Sasuke's hand based off of what he did to the Uchiha clan. And that's kind of where the untapped potential of Itachi ends. It ends with him being an EMS Sage Mode Perfect Susanoo using Son of a Gun. He is a beast. He would, without a doubt, in my opinion, solo every non-Six Paths character. When you get into the lower Six Paths tiers, he certainly has a case against, One-Eyed Sage One-Eyed Sage Madara, pre-Ten-Tails, and unstable and stable Jubito are both kind of low Six Paths tier. He has a case to beat all three of them. In the mid Six Paths tiers, you'd have DMS Kakashi, Obito, or DMS Obito, and you'd have, I guess you could, would you put Rinnegan Sasuke and Six Paths Sage Mode Naruto in the mid Six Paths tiers from the War arc? I don't know about that. I feel like they're probably high Six Paths tier. But you definitely have like pre-God Tree, Ten Tails, Madara, and Eighth Gates Guy, who, although are quite different in terms of strength, obviously Madara was kind of toying with Guy, let him hit him, and everything, was easily able to react to everything he was doing. But I still think that Eight Gates Guy beats Jubito pretty handily. So we'll say that he's definitely in that mid Six Paths tier. Would Guy be able to hit this version of Itachi is kind of up for debate, or would Itachi just Amaterasu him as soon as the fight starts and just end it? That's up for debate. It's definitely, if Guy lands a hit, Itachi's dead. Obviously, Guy landing a hit on a Madara that I think is stronger than this version of Itachi almost killed him. So if he hits Itachi with anything, Itachi's almost certainly dead. But I could definitely see it going both ways in this. I think Itachi wins more times than not, so I would put him somewhere between Eighth Gates Guy and one Rinnegan pre-God Tree Absorb Jubi Madara. That's really good for somebody without Hashirama cells. There's no he doesn't have a Rinnegan. He's not like reincarnate of the sons of the Sage of Six Paths. Nothing like that. He's just Itachi Uchiha from the Hidden Leaf, but amplified to actually reach his full potential. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking like, why would you still have Sasuke kill him? The reason we want Sasuke to kill him is for the untapped potential of Sasuke Uchiha, which is another video I want to make later on. That being said, though, this is the end of the video. I definitely think that this version of Itachi scales way higher than any other non-Six Paths character and is in the mid-level of Six Paths power. You look at everything he has going for him. He has win scenarios against anybody, even that, one-eyed non-God Tree absorbed Madara, although I think that that's less likely to happen. This version of Itachi is a freaking beast, and it's going to lead into a way stronger version of Sasuke that we're going to see when I make that video, which should be soon. It should be the video after the next one. The next video I want to make should be Minato, and then we'll do Sasuke. What I'll probably do is I'll do Naruto and Sasuke at the same time. Just do a really long video. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for sticking through this whole video. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, of course, unless you have bad taste, and then just stay away from me. Also, only subscribe if you have a dumpy. Stop playing with me. Thank you. Bye.